What's good, you guys? Today we're gonna be making a tier list of the most emotional Enneagram subtypes. When I say emotional, I mean having strong feelings or expressing strong feelings, okay? That's what it means. It's not neuroticism, it's not negative emotions, it's simply overall emotionality. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, this was and it's subjective as maybe you have a different opinion. Argue about this because I can guarantee many people will have many different opinions. Now with the S tier, obviously, you are thinking sexual 4, 100%, right? 100%. When I say S tier mental illness, you are thinking immediately sexual 4. And you're not wrong, but there's one more individual, one more type that could compete with this. And this would be sexual motherfucking 2. Now, I'm gonna put those two, meaning I'm not sure, okay? This depends how you view it. So, for example, you can make an argument that sexual 2, yes, it's described as most emotional by Naranjo. The emotionality is very shallow. They're not very deep emotions. It's just spurging the out. With S64, it's the opposites. Very deep emotions that run deep, right? FI base. So, it depends how you really look at it. And I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Is sexual 4 more emotional, or is it sexual 2 that is more emotional? Go with SP2. I'll go with SP2 mainly because, again, all two cores are extremely emotionally driven, pure emotionality. And that's one thing you guys need to understand between, for example, 4 and 2, okay? Because you might be thinking, well, where's social 4? 4's emotionality is mixed in with intellectualism and introversion. So there's a bit of a difference there. Then I would put social 4. This list is intense, okay? This tier, it's imagine all of those people in the same room. Can you imagine that? I would now motherfucking want to live with multiple types like that in the same fucking space. Probably got myself like a fucking fish. Sexual 7, which is, again, guys, sexual 7 is first emotion in psychosophy. It is an emotional spurg, an emotional basket case. There's a reason why characters like Jinx exist. There's a reason why you confuse many, sexual 7s for sexual 4s. Let's go to A tier, which is Please Breathe. Now this, I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna go with Self-Preservation 4. Guys, yes, 3E type in psychosophy, but guys, it's still a very emotional type. Emotions is what drives them. They are a 4 core. There's a pattern, right? Those types are very close to one another in terms of emotionality. After that, I would put social 2. Now, I was thinking, social 2, what do we do with them? They're described as like the cold person, the cold type, cold mastermind. And I'm thinking, listen, yes, they can be cold, they can freeze their emotions, but at the end of the day, they can be very theatrical and driven by deep emotions, Don't even ask me why. Don't even ask me how. I don't fucking know. You think I have the answers? I don't. I went with a 6-9 because first I had a dilemma. I'm like, where the fuck do I put the types with inner deadness? Like SX8, like SO8, like SX9, and SO9. But they also can be quite emotional. So I don't know what the fuck to do with it. But I've seen many examples of sexual 9s who are spurgs and emotional, very emotional people. Makes them even consider other types. Oh, am I maybe SO4 because I'm so emotional? I've seen this million motherfucking times. So I'm gonna keep them in Please Breathe. But again, you disagree? Just write down below. Stop being a cunt. Sexual 3, just like any other 3, is quite disconnected from feeling. So their approach to emotionality is quite superficial. There's a certain detachment, despite being a very clear ethical type, which is why you have examples like John Cena or The Rock. They can pass for a logical type. Very masculine logical type. That's my take. Again, you might even put that motherfucker Please Breathe tier. It's not bad. If you put in an A, it's not bad. No one's gonna be angry. You can do that. Oh shit, you can do that. No problem. Self-Preservation 6. And my rationale is, listen, a very, very, very strong head type here. Very intense head type, right? Analyzing, observing. And because of this nature of observing, analyzing, there is a certain filtering of emotionality that happens. Almost a disconnect of sorts, intellectualization of emotions. So I actually don't think that they're as emotional as many people think, right? Very neurotic, yes, but emotional overall, I'm not sure. Actually, what I'm thinking about now, I don't know, maybe we should put it fucking higher. Now it kind of sink in, it kind of sink in. I'm looking at it and it sink in. Like, I feel retarded. By that. I don't know how I feel about this, guys, okay? So, help me. I don't know how I feel about this, guys. This stinks. This is bullshit. After that, I would put sexual 8. They're described as a very emotional Enneagram subtype. They're taken by impulse, whatever they feel in the moment. They don't give a fuck. They just spread the fuck out, right? Go after what the fuck they want. So it's a lot of anger. Can be a lot of anger. Can be a lot of impulsivity, a lot of passion. Just a cocktail of emotionality can be present in this subtype. So I think you can make a case for B tier. I guess if you somehow try to bend it, you can make it even in the C tier, but After that, I would go with social 9, because I don't know what the fuck to do with social 9. I just know that social 9s are not very in tune with their emotionality. Sexual 5. There are two camps of people. Those people who will say, well, sexual 5 should be higher. I mean, super emotional, right? And those who say, nah, it should be low, should be even in D tier, should be in C tier because it's an emotional type of 5. My rationale is this: 5 core is a 5 core. That's it. They are a 5 core. There is some difference, more neutral and more detached. There's a certain detachment from emotions, even though they can be quite emotional. A deep internal emotional world they want to share with other people. So this is up for debate. In my opinion, C tier does work for this type. They're considered more emotionally resilient, more emotionally stable. And they're not decapitated from emotionality. After all, they're quite good with people. They can be more mellow, more friendly. Again, there's more attachment to emotionality, I think, with the social 8 than it is with, for example, self-preservation 8. Now, I went with I put sexual here, the most emotional 1 core for sure. Very passionate, very intense, very angry. 1 core is 1 core, right? There is a stunted effect here, restricted effect of emotionality that's going to be present. But in my opinion, they are probably a bit more unemotional than an 8 core. Then I would put social 3, which is considered a lizard, which is considered a chameleonic motherfucker who is very superficial in his emotions and his contact to emotions. I don't know where the fuck to put social 7 or 7 core overall, so I put them there. But on a serious note, actually that is a serious note. But social 7 is, from the examples I've seen, they're not emotional. I cannot imagine. I haven't seen a social 7 I would look at and be like, emotional person. They seem pretty unemotional, pretty emotionally stable. And there's also a disconnect from emotionality. Then we have D, which stands for dead inside, but not really, kinda, sorta, right? I would put sexual 6 here. So despite, many people have this imagination that sexual 6 is a very emotional person, ISFP. Yes, maybe if you've been tripping for a long motherfucking time and fantasy has become reality, then that's the case. But sexual 6 at the end of the day is neurotic, yes, but very impersonal, a very logical, rational person who is really not carried away by emotions. In fact, they devalue feelings. They devalue feelings and use logic and rationality to really navigate the world, even the world of feelings. So in my opinion, it's not a person who's going to get carried away by emotions or even express a lot of emotionality. Social 6, because I kind of feel like no one gives a fuck about social 6, and I'm probably part of the problem too, because I don't care. But I know someone who's a social 6. They seem very cool. They're great. They're really great, right? Very smart. I need to learn more about this subtype, actually. After that, I will put SP7, which is actually, many people don't know, can be quite an emotional type. Dry and emotionally cynical. So, no, this is not a very emotional person. More scheming, more about using logic and rationality to get their satisfaction, to get their way. There's a strong detachment from emotions in this subtype, and they can even be a bit dry. And I think Cass Brecker from Shadow and Bone really portrays that, SP3, I would put that too. Very controlled emotionally. Here we have a subtype who is very balanced emotionally and prioritizes emotional strength and resilience. Also, I think a person who wouldn't want to let go, lose control over things, and just let those emotions fly. I think the need for self-control here is very important. Call this 8 core most detached from feeling. Then I would actually put self-preservation 1. Overall, 1 core is very unemotional. That's the thing you guys need to understand. 1 is very unemotional because it literally has restricted affect. That's emotions. So SP1, think about this. Gus Fring from Breaking Bad is a self-preservation 1. I know, crazy. Guy looks like a fucking psychopath. There's no emotionality. Zero. Sucking that inside. Focus on self-control and perfectionism. And then we have the best tier, which is F tier, disabled emotionally. Now, I know what you guys thinking. What the f***? Something went wrong, like D and then F. Let's just say we ignore that. Anyway, here I put SP9. And it's actually funny. Some people actually think self-preservation 9 fits with SEI. And their fucking whole rationale. You know what I don't like? I'll tell you what the fuck I don't like. I don't like this. Which I've probably done. I don't know if I've done that. Maybe I've done that. Maybe we've all done that. What I don't fucking like is when a comes to me and argues for a type. And it's a ridiculous fucking type. You start creating those weird combinations. Oh, I think I type as an SEI, SP9, and let me show you why it's possible. You only fucking are arguing about why it's possible because you are fucking typing as that and refusing to understand shit in depth. So that's why you're typing that. Have you ever stopped to think maybe, just motherfucking maybe, you fucked up and it's not everyone else that is a fucking problem here, right? Everyone else is just retarded. They think SLI can only be SP9 and you're the fucking genius. You're enlightened because you are the true SP9 SEI. The true example of disabled emotionally, and that's where it goes. No motherfucking mercy. Either way, the inside, there's nothing to say about SP9. They still have some anger. Okay, we all change our fucking types. I changed my types like a fucking slut in a brothel many motherfucking times because I was going on circles, left, right, didn't know. What the fuck am I wrong? It's normal, but don't be acting like a fucking cunt. Hi. After that, guys. Okay, obviously. Most importantly, SR1. No one even expected this shit. I would be surprised if some of you expected it. Ben Shapiro, okay, a person who's so focused on rationality, logic, and facts over your feelings. Literally, facts don't care about your feelings. There's a strong devaluation of the emotional world. Very restricted, very unemotional, very methodical, and it's all in the case of intellectualism. SO1 is actually quite intellectual type. It really is. I think I even put it a bit high in my intellectual tier list. So guys, when they devalue the emotions, again, for rationality, for reason, for pragmatism, not an emotional person. I mean, Ben Shapiro is a good example. That motherfucker, does he even have emotions? Does he even feel anything? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go. Bye. Ciao. I'm bouncing.